Good morning, everyone, and welcome to LSND Live Community Conversations. I am Jen Lee, Executive Director at Legal Services of North Dakota. And today I'm so pleased to be joined by the Great Plains Food Bank. And Mel, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of talk through what your background is with the organization?
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. My name is Mel Ell. I am the Community Impacts Manager of Great Plains Food Bank. We are the only food bank in North Dakota. And what that means is we supply the pantries, the mobile efforts throughout the state. We also do a senior commodities program. We have child hunger programs. Those include things like a backpack program, and also we have a fantastic school repack program. We offer school pantries. And then in general, we have a series of pantries throughout the states. We do a good amount of outreach to our tribal nations and our rural communities.
Okay.
Um,
But lots of places to find food and to try to bring people together.
yes, yes.
As the community impact manager, what's your day to day look like in that role as community impact manager?
Sure. I love to talk about what I do. So I do outreach in for our what we call our cultural neighbors, so new Americans, and also our immigrant community, for example. Uh, Speaking to their needs. You know, they come from a different place, literally and figuratively. So, you know, they have different food needs, and we try to be respectful of what that could look like. Um, Same thing with our tribal nations. So, for example, we go on the tribal nations and really trying to address the idea of food sovereignty and providing a sense of dignity to those populations. So that could look like including bison for our food pantries or
Okay.
having relationships with the land grants in the different tribal nations, and they sometimes provide food bison. So those sorts of partnerships, and then our rural outreach. You know, making sure that our rural neighbors are addressed. We have lots of kind of food deserts west of
Mhm.
Fargo. It's hard to get food out there. So, how do we get food in the best way possible to our rural neighbors?
And what do you find is like the big gaps west of Fargo? I'm in Minot, and so I see a lot of need, I guess, west even of Bismarck. What do you all see from your side of things?
Well, I see a lack of nutritious
Hmm.
food, um, a lack of not just addressing sort of food hunger from a place of just let's get people so that they feel full, but actually providing nutrition.
Yeah.
As we know, the quality of nutrition that we have affects our minds and our bodies. So, just really trying to address that. We also have a wellness and healthcare program where we work with clinics and hospitals, and
Hmm.
we either provide food boxes that have a lot of nutrition in them, sort of less fillers, I'd like to say,
Yeah.
and pantries for those neighbors that go to the hospital or the clinic and are found to be uh, uh, like with the possibility of hunger.
Hunger, yeah.
Um, yeah.
Interesting. And I know you talked about rural communities, and there's a mobile food pantry. Is that correct?
Yes. So we have pantries all over the state. But really, to go into partnership with a pantry, they just have to be open. I believe it's once a month. So
Okay.
we really work hard at filling in those gaps because once a month really isn't a lot. But on the other hand, these are usually all volunteer led. So it's
Okay.
sort of hard to dictate when they can and cannot be available. So we do a series of mobiles across the state also. And those vary depending on the location and what sort of community involvement we can have. Some of those are champion led, right? So we just drop off the food and we've trained just a phenomenal group of people that are
Okay.
willing to give of their time and they distribute the food. And some of those we go to each and every time and distribute the food in a parking lot or at a church, something like that.
Okay. And do you get word out for that usually by social media, website? How do you spread information about where those are?
Great question. So we have a Facebook, we have our socials,
Hmm.
but we try to publicize in the area. So
Yeah.
that could look like a volunteer putting flyers up at the gas station or the local church. Also, local newspapers and local radio stations are a good source of spreading the word. But that is a challenge that we face, absolutely.
Yeah, I see that a lot on like Facebook groups. People will be asking food pantries or something like that. And sometimes there's someone who jumps in who obviously probably is very connected and will start sharing like graphics of upcoming food pantries and things like that. But yeah, it's hard because you never know out where someone's going to be in order to find them and advertise to them.
Absolutely. That definitely is a challenge. And I work with our partners and our champions, trying to assist wherever I can with
Mhm.
ideas and support.
Yeah, that's great. Some of the questions that come up recently, I know we're kind of in this tumultuous time with SNAP potentially being
Yes.
discontinued on November 1st. And this is live on October 27th. So that's why I'm bringing this up today. I have a lot of people who have asked, how can we help? What can we do? What are ways that people can help your organization?
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to say that even before the shutdown, we were facing lots of cuts and changes in
Yep.
what sort of support there is available and what sort of support we could afford to do. So I will say that we can always use financial help. We can
Yep.
always use donations of food. Um, and we can always use volunteerism. Um, yeah, we are working together to try to see how we can support, say, for example, federal employees. We're have planning what sort of outreach we can do, but we are very aware that
Mhm.
I mean, I was on the road last week, and some of the stories I heard were heartbreaking of
Yeah.
people that are not. They're getting so much less money than they were. Um, I heard about an elderly couple who got $11 for their check for the month, and the conversation they were having is, what do we not do? Do we not get our medication, or do we not get our food? And so when hearing stories like that, it just breaks your heart. But yeah, we're trying to get out there more,
Yeah.
send more food out, and hopefully the shutdown will end sooner rather than later.
Hopefully, yes. And that funding will come back in support of food banks and things like that as well. So, um,
Absolutely. But we do appreciate every little bit that people can help with, whether it be financial support or food support.
if someone goes to your website, are they able to donate there and also find a ways to donate food there? Is that the easiest way?
Absolutely. Yes. If you just go to greatplainsfoodbank.org, right on the front page, there is a Give Today, um, uh, like screen that pops up. And then at the top of the screen, there is a Take Action menu that you can click on and pull down, and it has several options.
Very cool. I will put that into the notes of our LSND live for today so that people can click on it.
Thank you. Thank
Are there
you.
any events that you all do on an annual basis or regularly to raise awareness or funding?
Yes, we are constantly doing things. In fact, this Wednesday we have an Ending Hunger Summit.
Okay.
It's the eighth annual Hunger and Health Summit, and that is going to be held in Moorhead.
Okay.
That is one of our yearly events. So it's a great opportunity for people to attend, see what's going on in the state, and perhaps choose to get involved.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. There's so many events that go on and so many things that people can get involved with. It's almost hard to put them all onto a calendar somewhere and figure out all the places there are to be. So try to mention them as much
Um,
as we can.
and then while we are here, I just
Yep.
would like to talk about we are doing a capital campaign
Yep.
because we are the need is so great, I will say, that we have outgrown our space. We've outgrown our warehouse.
Mhm.
So we are in the middle of a capital campaign. We have a piece of land that we have acquired. We did an amazing land blessing on it with our some of our indigenous people that were originally from the area,
Mhm.
and we are open to anyone that wants to get involved and help us meet our goal. It's pretty lofty goals, but with the help of our state representatives and with our local businesses and the people in our community, we're getting there. But just wanting to throw out that capital campaign.
Very good. Yeah, that's a lofty goal, like you said, but it's needed, and goals are a good thing to have. So, um, what is overall like hunger? I know it's really one of those things that some people don't understand. I like this. I don't like the story, but the story of the elderly couple who were trying to send medications. I'm also hearing a lot of kids these days who are hungry. What impact does that have in the communities when kids are not able to eat?
Well, our child hunger is a big part of what we do. I mean, I recently heard from a gentleman at an event who lives in Turtle Mountain, and
Hmm.
they have a sweat lodge,
Hmm.
and he was telling me that they do it on Fridays after school, and they have to drive 20 something miles to go get these kids a few snacks because they know that that will possibly be the last meal they have for the week. So,
Hmm.
you know, hearing story after story like that, we really work towards working with schools and working with communities. You know, like the backpack program. That's another
Yep.
program that we have where kiddos can grab a bag on their way out the door that has snacks and meals for the weekend.
Okay.
The school repack, like I mentioned, is amazing. So that is when there is school leftover, I mean, food left over at the cafeteria, they
Hmm.
repack it so that kiddos can take food home with them
Oh.
also. And then the school pantry is just fantastic. It's basically setting up a pantry, but at the school. And the reason those are so great is because the families can come in and they can shop the pantry. And
Mhm.
yeah, ending hunger today, tomorrow, and for good. Those are the words that we live by here at Great Plains Food Bank.
Such important work that you all are doing. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to add about Great Plains Food Bank? Anything that's upcoming, or do you have other fundraising goals? I know we have the Giving Tuesday coming up, Giving Hearts Day. Do you participate in those kinds of events?
We do. I'm not really sure what
It's
we
okay.
are doing with those right now, but I
It
know that
comes
we
up so
just
fast
finished.
every year.
Yeah, we just finished Hunger Action Month,
Okay. Yeah.
and we did some fundraisers for that last month, whether it was requesting people to advocate for us
Hmm.
or to donate or to volunteer, and even some fundraise. You know, some people, they do a food drive in their community, and those are always welcome. So that was last month. And this month, I believe, is the United Way campaign. So
Okay.
this month, we're working with the United Way, um, trying to do the same for all of their issues. And we actually also do a really fun couple of week events here at the office, raising money for the United Way campaign.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, it's always, there's so many different things that go on. And I'm always trying to remind people that, these national days or local regional days of giving are very helpful to organizations out there. And so keep that in mind for people, especially end of year. So
Absolutely. Yes.
those
Get
tax
those
breaks
tax
in.
credits in.
I know. Well, thank you, Mel. I really appreciate your time. Such great work you all are doing, try end hunger in North Dakota and everywhere. And I really appreciate you telling us about all the opportunities that are out there to help.
Thank you so much.
Tune in next Monday for LSND Live Community Conversations. Thanks, everyone.